It is Lana again today, and today I'm coming at you with a book review. The book that I will be reviewing in segments, chapter by chapter, is called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Manson. So, without further ado, we'll just get right into it. Basically, what I'm going to be doing in these videos is going ahead, reading the chapters, jotting down the main points, and then I'll share with you a quote or two that I thought was really important from that section. And this is basically giving you guys a scoop on good books so that you don't actually have to do the work and read it. You can just watch it in a shortened video. So let me know in the comments below after this video if you liked it or not. Give the video a like, maybe hit subscribe if it was something that you were into. So let's get right into it. So the chapter 1 is basically Mark's introduction of what not giving a fuck means to him, and basically the pros and all that surrounding it. So he starts off the chapter with a story about Charles Bukowski, the famous author and poet, and basically Mark says that Bukowski was a great guy and great at his art because he was honest about himself, with himself, and all of his shortcomings. He didn't try and downplay his shortcomings or pretend he was something he wasn't. He believed he was I'm a drunk. I'm not the nicest guy, and that's okay. And he was honest about his failings in his writing, and that really helped him. And with going on that point, Mark talks about how fixation on positives, wanting to be better, wanting I'm a drunk. I'd like to be sober, or I don't have that perfect body, and you just keep thinking about a model body which you don't have. Fixation on those positives that you don't have create a negative experience. And this essentially is the feedback loop from hell, which is a term that he coined, where basically it's saying, oh, they're so pretty and perfect. Well, I'm not perfect, and I don't have this. I must suck. And then you kind of go around in this loop of just negativity that's really unhelpful. And Mark's way of stopping the feedback loop is actually by not giving a fuck. And just, saying, it's okay to feel bad sometimes. And, one day you might feel like crap, a little depressed, whatever. But that's fine. Happiness is not a constant, and it's okay to feel bad sometimes, and you don't have to go and do this whole cycle. Then he goes on and he references the backwards law that Alan Watts kind of coined, where he says, my laptop just shut down, where he says, the more you pursue pleasure, the more unsatisfied you become, because the pursual reinforces the fact that you have not yet attained that thing that which you are pursuing. So basically you're like, oh, I really want this, I really want that, and I don't have that. And you continuously feel like you're missing something, you're yearning for something, and feeling like you're not adequate, without that thing. This could be material, or it could be, on a personal development kind of platform. Whereas the flip side of the backwards law is that pursuing negative experiences, not positive, creates a positive experience. So, for example, we go to the gym, our muscles ache, it's painful, but it creates positive results. We get better and healthier and stronger. Where if we, don't go and do that work and put in that effort that, creates us a little bit of pain for ourselves, avoiding the pain and suffering is actually a form of suffering and pain in itself. This can maybe be more understood on a psychological standpoint if we're constantly trying to shy away from, let's say, difficult situations, maybe some conflict. You know, that takes a lot of work, first of all, but, you know, pain, suffering, conflict, unavoidable things in life. So if you're not allowing yourself to have those experiences, when you do, you know, when you are forced into those experiences, they're really going to suck because you're not prepared. You haven't built up that resistance, you know, that thick skin, and you're just not going to be able to deal with it or cope with it. And this is kind of something that he gets into later, I believe. Yeah, he does. So stay tuned for that, but that's all I'm going to say. And Mark Manson, he ends off the chapter basically with saying, you know, what is this whole book about? You know, when he says the subtle art of not giving a fuck, he's not trying to say that people should be indifferent and just, like, not care about anything. It's more, what he says is more about what he wants to teach us, how to learn to prioritize what fucks we give. And we need to ask what we want in order to choose if we want to give a fuck about it, basically. You know, do we want to get mad about some annoying cashier and use up all that, you know, space and energy in our brains and our psyche? Or do we want to put more energy into, you know, developing a better relationship with people around us or working on ourselves? Just things like that. And then finally, he kind of coins his philosophy as sort of practical enlightenment, where he says, you know, knowing that suffering, well, what he wants to teach us is to know that suffering is inevitable, and that's okay. You know, we're going to feel pain sometimes and not feel the greatest, but that's okay because happiness is kind of always around the corner. And because knowing that it's inevitable allows us to not care so much about those little pains and annoyances and focus on the positives and happiness in our lives. Yeah, so that's basically gist of chapter 1. I'll end it off with one of my favorite quotes in this chapter, and yeah, so it's on page 9, and he says, "The desire for more positive experience is itself a negative experience, and paradoxically, the acceptance of one's negative experience is itself a positive experience." That's all I have for today on Chapter 1 of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for Chapter 2. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.